Hello everyone. Today me Subhas and my partner Shubham we are going to present on Zookeeper, web-free coordination for internet SQL systems. This is the general overview of our presentation. We will cover why Zookeeper, then Yahoo and Zookeeper. Since Zookeeper was developed in Yahoo, we will briefly discuss on that. And what is Zookeeper? Zookeeper users. Then we'll cover data models, watches and sessions. We'll give you a brief introduction about Zookeeper APIs. Then the primitives that are used in Zookeeper, like configuration management, rendezvous, group membership, and we'll talk about implementation and conclude the presentation. So first I would like to talk about why Zookeeper. In the past, each application was a single program running on a single computer, but today the world has moved to big data and cloud computing. So there are many independent set of programs running on several set of computers, but coordinating these systems is really hard. So one of the motivations behind the development of Zookeeper is that the coordination of different set of computers in an ever-changing set of computers. And most of the times what happens is developers they lose the application functionality while trying to focus on the coordination logic of the program. So Zookeeper enables those developers to focus on application logic rather than the coordination. And Zookeeper, it exposes a simple API inspired by a file system. Zookeeper uses a file system, a hierarchical namespace-based file system that allows developers to implement the coordination tasks. Okay, since Zookeeper was developed at Yahoo, let me briefly discuss about how it was developed. The previous applications, they were all based on blocking primitives. They used to use a block for that. But one of the disadvantages of using logs was that even the slow and faulty clients, they used to negatively affect the performance of the faster clients. So one of the motivation behind development of Zookeeper was to remove the use of blocking primitives like logs and to bring a word-free coordination system. And distributed coordination extraction applications, they were not treated good because there was chance of single point of failure in the past. And whenever the master crashes, then the system would go down. Also, developers they had to write the coordination mechanisms and coordination primitives from scratch. They couldn't focus on the applications. Rather, they need to write the coordination and synchronization logic from scratch. So, one of the basic use of Zookeeper is they can use the Zookeeper API and they don't have to write anything from scratch now. So that's one of the most advantages of Zookeeper. And there is a brief history about the origin of the name Zookeeper. It came from the idea that distributed systems are like a zoo, chaotic and hard to manage, and Zookeeper is meant to keep them under control. And now, I will just briefly discuss on what is Zookeeper actually. The general definition of Zookeeper. Zookeeper is a scalable, distributed, open source coordination service for distributed applications. And Zookeeper provides a simple set of primitives to implement higher level services for synchronization, configuration management, consensus, leader election, groups and namings in the distributed systems. We will briefly cover the configuration management and a group membership later in this discussion. Now, who uses Zookeeper? Since Yahoo developed Zookeeper, it uses Zookeeper for the fetching service, and in the Yahoo fetching service, it uses Zookeeper basically for the leader election purpose, for the configuration management, sharding, locking, and OQ. The term sharding here means the partitioning of database. Sharding means actually the partitioning of database from large chunks to smaller chunks, and Zookeeper is used for that by the Yahoo fetching service. And Facebook messages, it uses Zookeeper for implementing sharding, for handling failover and service discovery. Also, Apache HBase Hadoop uses Zookeeper for master election, service list management, and bootstrapping. And eBay it uses Zookeeper for job type limiter. Job type limiter is nothing but it helps limit the execution of same types of jobs from running simultaneously beyond a specified number in grid. Now I would briefly discuss about the classic distributed system, where we have one master and we have slaves. Slave communicate with the master, but the disadvantage of using such a system was that there was a chance of single point of failure. It means if the master crashes, then the whole system goes down. So there is no scalability, there is no reliability. So to cover the cons of this distributed system, we later came the fault-tolerant distributed system, in which we have a backup master in addition to the master, and also we have a coordination service over here. And in this form of distributed system, we can see there is a master, there are slaves. Master, they connect to the slaves, and also the slaves, they connect to the coordination service. Whenever master dies, then the backup master comes into operation, and the backup master, it gets the previous configuration from the coordination service, and it will just get all the backup and all the configuration data that the previous master has lost from the coordination service. So Zookeeper is nothing but the coordination service that helps coordinate master and slaves in a fault-tolerant distributed system. Now this is a general overview of the Zookeeper service. We can see here there are several clients connected to servers, and among the different servers, one is elected leader and the other are followers. And each client connects to a particular server here. And data in Zookeeper is stored in the memory in all the servers. Our leader is elected, as I already said that. Followers means the one except the leaders, they are followers, the servers, and they follow the leader. And all the updates, all the write operations, they must go through the leader. And for any update operation, it must be based on majority. For example, the number of servers that have not failed must be always greater than those that have failed. It is like a majority-based quorum. That is the general overview of the Zookeeper service. And the next, this is the Zookeeper data model. Zookeeper follows a hierarchical namespace. Like we use the file system in Unix, it is divided into different nodes actually. Here in the figure we can see it's a tree-like structure. The main node, the slash at the top, that's the root node, and services, company, worker, logs, applications, and users, they are the nodes. And in Zookeeper, we call these nodes as G nodes. Worker 1 and worker 2, which are the children node of worker, they are called ephemeral G nodes. And the term ephemeral is used here because ephemeral means whenever the process that creates worker 1 and worker 2 dies, those G nodes are automatically deleted. So they are called ephemeral. And now let me just discuss briefly what the G node in Zookeeper they have. G nodes, they have data associated with it and also can have children. Data in the G nodes are in kilobytes because in Zookeeper, G nodes, they don't hold large amount of data. Zookeeper is not a data storage actually. It only saves a small amount of data, like the configuration metadata for configuration management. So the size of data is generally in kilobytes. And G nodes are version. It means version means the number of data. If any form of data is updated, then the version changes along with that. And the data is written and read in entirety. It means there is no any partial reads, no partial writes. Data happens in entirety. I already said G nodes can be ephemeral or regular. Regular G nodes, they are like ephemeral, are created and they are destroyed whenever the process dies. But for the regular G nodes, what we have to do is we need to use the delete API for the Zookeeper to delete those G nodes. And the data is in memory, therefore the operation in Zookeeper is pretty fast and high throughput and low latency. And the hierarchical namespace, this tree-like model helps to provide strictly ordered updates. Now watches. Zookeeper uses watches. Okay, now I would like to discuss on watches and sessions. First, watches. Watches got timely notification for the clients without requiring any polling, and they are one-time triggers. They are unregistered once the session expires. And watches, what they do actually is they notify the client about a change that has occurred in the configuration in the servers. Next sessions. Clients connect to Zookeeper and initiate a session actually. Then sessions, they have associated timeout. Zookeeper considers a client faulty if it does not receive anything from the session for more than the timeout. It means if the server does not receive anything from the client within a particular timeout, then the server considers that the client has failed or the client to be faulty. That's the main purpose of sessions. Okay. Now I would like to briefly discuss about Zookeeper APIs. We have different set of Zookeeper APIs like create. It helps to create a G node. Path means the path to the G node. Data, the data that the G node has. Types can be like ephemeral or regular. Then we have delete, exist, get data, set data, get chosen, and synchronization. These are the different set of APIs that the Zookeeper uses. Thus, I will give a brief overview about that because I am not going into details in these things. Okay, guarantees and the rest of the topic will be covered by my friend Subham.